Listening to the Wrestlebread Podcast.
Cut the shit.
How many red carpets you guys want to walk in your $4,000 ridiculous heels? You will never be able to lace up my Chuck Taylor.
This is your fault. This is your fault. I didn't get mad when you stole all my moves.
Your daddy's not here anymore.
How was your movie, by the way? I missed it.
Mine went straight to DVD, just like yours.
Careful you don't hurt your neck again going through those ropes.
What is going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Wrestlebread Podcast. This is episode 208, Halloween Havoc. Crazy week that we got going on. 209, I'm sorry. I said 208. Episode 209, Halloween Havoc. Interesting past week that we had. A lot of announcements, a lot of surprises, if you can say so as well. I have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the Philadelphia Phillies have been eliminated from the World Series contention. Congratulations to the Rangers and to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I know it probably is some audio out there. I've heard the audio of people. They're saying, like, let go of the whole team, trade away Bryce Harper, trade away Trey Turner and all this other stuff. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, a week ago, we were saying how this was the best lineup in all of baseball. So I'm happy that we made it far. You know, could we have made it to the World Series? We could have. But the Arizona Diamondbacks figured something out in the last two games. They defeated the Phillies at home, which I didn't think was going to happen. But they won and they made it to the World Series. So now just got to figure out what happened and kind of go from there. I felt as though the reason why they lost the last two games, I felt as though they were a little too ambitious to try to get a hit off. From what I was watching, Trey Turner was very eager to try to hit those home runs. I mean, they got a little bit behind and then they kept trying to play catch up. So they knew that, I felt as though Arizona knew that we were going to swing a little more to try to get those hits and those home runs and stuff like that versus being a little more cautious and keeping an eye out for, you know, the balls, stuff like that. That's how I felt what happened. Arizona figured out to kind of get things going early in the game and have the Phillies play catch up, because that's kind of how it was during the whole series, even in the division game. You know, Phillies come out very strong and it's very hard to play catch up when you're, you know, down like 3-4 scores at that certain period. But I'm happy for the Phillies. You know, I'll be back next season. Be there opening weekend. Normally opening weekend is around my birthday. So I normally they have different ways where you can get free tickets and stuff like that. So I normally do something like that. Get free tickets around the opening weekend and stuff. You know, and I'll try to do another game or two like I usually do during the summer and stuff. And we'll be back to it again. I'm not one of these fans that, you know, it's like 80% of Phillies fans that are Philadelphia fans that are ready to destroy a team if a team loses. Me, a loss it happens. Okay. We didn't expect to go far last year. We got so much better this year. It's a promise, fucking yes. Kansas City Chiefs is very dominant. How many times did they, could have made it to the Super Bowl, didn't make it to the Super Bowl, didn't win the Super Bowl. So it's just like, you can't expect perfection each and every year. And if you do expect perfection, then I don't know what is going on with you. But like I said, congrats to the Rangers, congrats to Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm happy that the Astros are not in it again. I'll be checking out the World Series tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, I'm happy about it. On to what's coming next. We're still in the middle of football season. We got basketball. I don't really watch a lot of basketball. I am one of those Sixers fans that will hop on the bandwagon once the team makes the playoffs, stuff like that. I know players in basketball. Of course, I know like LeBron, Steph Curry, and all them other people. But I don't watch it week to week. I can't name like all the teams in the NBA like that. I could probably name like maybe 75% of the teams in NBA, but I can't name them all. So it is what it is. But let me go to the comments to get to shout out all the people who got here early. First of all, Nick from the Universal Wrestling Podcast. There we go. Have an awesome show, homie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out the Universal Wrestling Podcast, which was on a little bit earlier. I didn't get a chance to check out a lot of the shows this week. Had a bunch of things I had to do this week, but be sure to check out the show as well. And then Streets. Hi, Jaydee. What's going on, Streets? Be sure to check out Roto Slappers. If you are lost in the sauce, because, there are a lot of people out there who are having losing records in fantasy football. But if you want to know where to get your information, get it from the streets as far as with fantasy football. Go to the website, thefanent.com. A lot of great articles and videos about who to pick up for waivers, especially trades. If you don't know what you're doing, somebody will come along for trade and try to get you. I had that happen plenty of times. Once people know that I'm a female, they'll try to trade me. First of all, let me tell you, somebody tried to get me to trade away Christian McCaffrey. I'm like, dog, come on. I'm not trading Christian, okay? Not trading CMC for nothing. CMC has been bringing in all the points for my team this week. Somebody tried to get me to trade him. And I'm like, no, dog. It's not happening. Rangers in 5. Yeah. Check out on the Sidelines Podcast, KGB. I'm rooting for the Rangers, actually. I listened to 105.3, The Fan, and Sean and RJ in the morning. I listen to them. So I'm rooting for the Rangers because they crack me up when the Rangers are doing well. That way, defeat the team who defeated the Phillies. That's how I feel. Dylan, what's going on? What's good, Jaydee? Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out Dome Field Advantage podcast. Especially if you're a Saints fan, even if you're not a Saints fan, it's cool to watch other podcasts and shows that talk about different teams, kind of give you a different perspective of what's going on the other side of the ball from your team. Y'all make sure to hit the like. Yes, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button as well. And like I said, check out the website, The Fan ENT, as well for all the information. If you don't know what we are, first of all, my name is Jaydee, the first effing lady of the Fanatic Network. And the Fanatic Network is basically a group of people who are passionate about what they do. We talk about everything. We talk about sports, fantasy football, fantasy baseball, wrestling, football, baseball, UFC, bets. We also talk about movies and entertainment as well, and video games too. So go to the website, thefanent.com. Check out all the podcasts and everything. See which one, you got a feel for, which one is your vibe. Follow the podcast, follow the podcaster as well. Over the past year, Philly has had bad luck. Philly has had bad luck for a very long time. And it just kills me sometimes that, and it's one of the reasons why I am not really an Eagles fan. I'm a Phillies fan because Phillies fans are slightly different from Eagles fans. Phillies fans, there is a bit of appreciation for the team. Eagles fans, once the team loses 3 times in a row, they want to wipe the whole team and they want to just completely trash the team. And it's just like, that's not fair. Like, it's 18 weeks to the seasons. 3 losses in a row is not going to kill it. If the Eagles don't make it to the like, there was such a large drought for Philly, like they completely forgot that, there was a certain point where you didn't have a good quarterback, you didn't have a good coach, you didn't really have a good team. Okay. And now that they have a good team, it's just like their head gets so big. And I'm waiting for it. I know it's going to happen, that the Eagles are going to eventually lose a certain amount of games in a row and they're going to start losing their mind. But yeah, Philly, the past year, exactly, the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl. The Phillies didn't make it to the World Series. The Sixers lost in the playoffs as well. I don't even follow hockey, so I don't even know what's going on with the Flyers. If the Flyers was doing well and then lost, and I think something with the soccer team too. It's just like all over the damn place. I'm sure something's going to happen as far as with WrestleMania too. That's just going to add. It's just going to add to the list of Philly sports. But yeah, Philly sports don't really have a lot of luck. That's why I'm appreciative that the Phillies made it as far as they did. That's why I was very appreciative that they made it last year, because no one expected for them to be good or make it far last year. But yeah, some Philadelphia fans, they're just like slightly delusional, I have to say. Ivan, what's going on? What's going on, fams? Happy Thursday, the number one coast to coast Jaydee baby. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, please check out Circle of Debate, the fam on the other side of the coast. Definitely check them out. Go check out Circle of Debate. They have wonderful shows over there as well with the whole crew. Jade sat on her throne like the queen on Tuesday. Shawn Michaels is cooking. Listen, took my breath away when they pulled her up. I love how they are displaying her in WWE. Definitely putting her out there that makes you go like, who's that? And they're definitely setting her up. They're definitely setting her up right. And I'm happy about that. Like I said, my only worry is the whole momentum thing. And I'll definitely talk more about Jade once I break down Halloween Havoc. But yeah, they had her sitting on a damn throne with 2 security guards. Everybody was like, remember the security guard faces, that they're future world champions. So, but yeah, they definitely setting her up like crazy, which, I'm liking it. I'm definitely liking it. I'm just slightly concerned about the whole momentum thing, because sometimes with WWE, they shoot people out like a rocket, and then it just like it runs out of gas after a while. And I'm hoping that's not what happens with Jade. I also have the Bills versus Tampa Bay up over here as well. And I just saw Tampa Bay celebrating. I don't know what they were celebrating. Looks like they're about to get a touchdown too. So we got a lot of things going on here. Just in time, because he is just in time. What's up, First Lady? Thank you so much for tuning in. Eli Myers, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel like WWE will give ECW some love during Mania Week for sure. Always look forward to your recap shows. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Yeah. Listen, for whatever reason, every time a wrestling show comes to Philly, and AEW just came to Philly too, I was like yay close to going. At first I wasn't going to go because I was like, of course, they named RVD coming. I've seen RVD plenty of times in Philly. Every time WWE came to Philly, they throw Rob Van Dam on the card. So I've seen Rob Van Dam a number of times. Not complaining, but when AEW was like, oh, we're going to have RVD and Hook team up, I was like, I saw that before. And I wasn't really willing. I was like, you gotta name some more stuff. Like, that's all you got for us, that MJF and Juice Robinson. I was like, oh man, that means the Bang Bang Club's going to be there. That's cool. But I was like, is Christian going to be there? Is Swerve going to be there? Is Adam Copeland going to be there? I never seen Edge live. So I was like, if Edge is wrestling in Philly, that will strongly sway me to get tickets. But oh my gosh. And I'll get into that now. The reason why now AEW Philly showed up for Dynamite, I'm happy about it because there had been so many pictures of, terrible attendance for Dynamite. I don't know how Rampage looked because, the way they film it is it's Dynamite, then it's like a little break, and then they film Rampage. So you get out at like close to midnight if you stay for Rampage. Because after Rampage, they'll bring out something special. The first time Dynamite was in Philly, I went, me and my son. And this was back when Bryan Danielson was beefing with Kenny Omega. I saw Sting live for the first time ever. Was hype about that. This was when they had a ladder, I think it was like casino. It was a similar casino type of thing. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was a Joker and it was Heyman Page returning. I saw Jade Cargill live too. She was amazing. She is magical in person. So they have back then it was Dark and Elevation. So they opened the doors at like 7 and I got there a little late. Plus the effed up thing was they stopped letting people in after a while. So if you got there at like we got there at like maybe 7:30 or something, and it was a line to get in. So I guess they only let a certain amount of people in to watch the Dark Elevation or whatever, and they let everyone else stay outside. So there was a line for us to get in. We got inside. They were still filming a little bit of Dark Elevation. I saw Ruby Soho wrestle a match. And then they start Dynamite. And then after Dynamite is probably like maybe a 15-20 minute break. And then they do Rampage. And I stayed for Rampage. Back then, they kind of forced you to stay for Rampage because they had CM Punk. And they was like, oh, CM Punk's going to wrestle on Rampage. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll stay for that. It's Wednesday. It's a school night. I want to get back, at a decent time. Of course, CM Punk was in the main event of Rampage. So then they said, stay after Rampage. Tony Khan has a special, something special for you guys. So after Rampage is over, Tony Khan comes out, thanks all of us. He brings out ECW original. So it was Taz. You probably saw this on the internet already. It was Taz, Jerry Lynn, Dean Malenko, and I forgot someone else. That all came out. They talked about, wrestling in Philly, stuff like that. We all did the EC dub chant. And then CM Punk comes out and was like, I was the ECW champ too. I should be recognized. We all had a great laugh about it. So after that, then you leave and you have to worry about traffic and stuff like that. If you're calling an Uber and stuff. We didn't get home till like almost midnight. I told my son, I was like, you don't have to go to school the next day. He was so damn happy about it. So I knew that with them coming back to Philly, they was going to do something ECW-wise. I felt some type of way when they announced that Okada was now coming to Philly because I was like, damn, I never seen Okada live at all, of course. Well, not a lot of people saw him live. He don't wrestle that often in the U.S. I was like, man, it's going to be Okada versus Bryan Danielson. I was like, but they're not like really telling us who else is going to be there. Like, yeah, Okada will be there, but I want to know who else is going to be there. Now, trying to get tickets, right? So the only tickets were kind of sold on Ticketmaster. The lower level was pretty much sold out. It was the upper level seats. They were like $20. At Leocore Center, it seats about 10,000. So the nosebleeds isn't really like nosebleeding. But I have a pinky finger in my ear. I don't want to do nosebleed seats for wrestling shows. I would do it if it's like a pay-per-view or something like that. But for the weekly shows like Raw, Smackdown, Dynamite, Collision, I don't want no nosebleeds. I want to be on the lower level where I can see, like, get my money's worth, or else I can just sit and watch in the comfort of my home. StubHub, of course, had all the damn tickets, and they were selling like hotcakes too. There was a front row seat, camera side, right in camera side front row. Bitch was selling for $500. I was like, it's not that damn bad. Like, I don't need my 15. Well, it would have been more than 15 seconds of fame, but I was like, I don't need it that damn bad. And then they were selling tickets, kind of pretty much the same seat that I had last time, but those tickets were like 100 something. And I'm like, well, damn, like, I get it. AEW is now popular again. Because when I first went to Dynamite, them tickets were like 60, 70 bucks. And I got it off of StubHub like the day before or something like that. But this time around, the tickets were kind of selling a little fast. So I was like, I'm not selling like $200-$300. I'm not paying $200-$300 for a weekly show. I don't even want to pay that much for a WWE. Because I've been to a couple of Smackdown, Raws. I've been to the last PLE I've been when they were in Philly was Extreme Rules. And that was when The Undertaker was teaming up with Roman Reigns at that point. That was like, what, 2019 or something like that? I almost went to the infamous Royal Rumble that came to Philly. I am so happy I decided not to go to that, even though it'd been cool to see The Rock live again. But oh my gosh, if you know, you know. But yeah, I was like, it's not worth it, especially on a Wednesday night, having to be out there until like 11, 12 o'clock and then coming back home. It wasn't worth it. I was like, I'll catch you guys fucking next time. But I just get mad because they don't market them coming to a city like they should. It really is no reason why. Come Saturday, like, you're telling us big ass matches that are happening on that's coming for the next show. Like, we should at least know like who is going to appear on the show. Like, if you said, appearances by Sting, Christian Cage, the Elite, it's Kenny Omega was kind of out there for a moment, I've been like, okay, cool, I will more likely be willing to pay to go. But if you're trying to sell me just on Okada, Bryan Danielson, and RVD, I'm like, I probably would sit at home. And I'm sure this kind of goes for everyone who has had a Dynamite or Collision come to your city, how they kind of like announce one match a week ahead, and then it's just like crickets until like a few days before. And I'm like, Tony Khan, I know you're a billionaire and stuff like that, but some of us get paid, bi-weekly, sometimes weekly, and we sometimes have plans for that money. So, the money was already dedicated by the time you said Okada was coming. Like, that money was going to someplace else. All right. You were too late. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe when it comes to when AEW comes around to different cities. It's like, you have to market a little bit better. Like, at least when WWE comes to Philly, at least they'll say, such and such will show up, such and such will show up, such and such will show up. They'll say card is subject to change. You could just throw that out there. But at least I know, okay, Roman Reigns is supposed to show up. Seth Rollins is supposed to show up. I'll more likely will pay money to see those people live. They did announce that Sting was going to get a present or something like that. But I was like, I've seen Sting previously before. I know now he's retiring, but I'm like, they'll be coming around in this area again. If I really want to see Sting before he retires, I'll go out and see him. I know that, and plus, with Mania coming to Philly, I'm like, we're gonna see Sting probably show up for some fucking signing at some point here anyway. So it is what it is. What's going on? The Bump Boys, sup, First Lady? What is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Paul Heyman going into the Hall of Fame, calling it now. Yes, like, I will write an email to fucking Triple H. Like, this is the perfect Mania to throw fucking Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame. The amount of cheers and love he will get from us, like, come on. Like, it has to happen. You got to do it. Kayla, what's going on? What is up, Fanatic Sister? Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to check out Outrage Control with Kayla and the Queen's Takeover podcast as well. She's been killing it over there. I've been to a couple of Dynamite shows in Milwaukee, 4-hour drive. People tend to leave right after Dynamite or the first match of Rampage to beat the traffic out of the parking ramps. Yeah, like, yo. Traffic was a hot ass mess leaving out of the Leocore Center. I called it Uber. As at the time, my car really wasn't. I wasn't trusting my car like that back then. Actually, no, I didn't have. I didn't have my car actually at that point, so I had to call Uber. But still, it was a bit of hectic because it was just like so much traffic in that area. I did get to watch some of the wrestlers leave from the Leocore Center. Damn, I forgot who I saw leave. I saw CM Punk leave. I remember that. Maybe Kenny leave or Brian, one of them. But I did see some people leave out. That's how long it took for our Uber to get there. But yeah, there was a lot of people who left after Dynamite because it's like Wednesday night. But the biggest thing was that's when they originally that's when CM Punk was slightly still new. So a lot of people, majority of people stayed around to watch him on Rampage. But as soon as Rampage was over, people like slightly started to leave, and then there was like a good core of people who stayed because Tony Khan said that he had some ECW people coming. You know, we all got a soft spot for ECW. I freaked out when I went to my second Milwaukee show and the coin flip came on. Okada debuted. See, like, it's really cool that, you know, when you get the surprises, like it would have been Ric Flair, I guess. It would have been Ric Flair showing up for it had I went on Wednesday. What else? And Christian showing up and just pretty much, you know, killing it on the mic. I had some ideas of some signs. I'm very sure it would have got me on TV, but I was not willing to pay that price. Like the $500, like it would have been $1,000 to get that first row seat. I was like, it's not worth that. It's not worth. I could see if this was like pay-per-view, $500 for front row, great. But you talking $500 for Dynamite? Even like maybe a Raw $500. Now I wouldn't pay it for a Raw or SmackDown. $500 was too much. But I was happy to see a lot of the tickets were sold for the lower level. So, and it came across very well on TV. A lot of people did show up. I was slightly nervous that there was going to be that a picture would have popped up and it would have showed like a whole ass half of the arena empty. I would have been pissed off because I was like, that means that them tickets could have been a hell of a lot cheaper than they were. Jealous you got to see Okada wrestle live. Yeah, that's really cool that, you know, got to see Okada wrestle live. That was like one of the biggest drivers that almost made me go for Dynamite was to see Okada wrestle live. Because that was a great match with Okada, Orange Cassidy, and Bryan Danielson and Claudio. That would have been great. But I'll get into some more breakdown of Dynamite when I get there. But let's get into some news and rumors. First of all, TNA is coming back. Hopefully not LOL TNA. I am very confident that we are going to get the better version of TNA. But they did show a video package at the end of, I think it was Bound for Glory, I think it was their last event. They showed a video package. I checked it out. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And yeah, they are officially changing from Impact to TNA, taking place January 13th, 2024 at the Hard to Kill pay-per-view in Las Vegas. Of course, everyone with the silver foil tin, the tin foil hats, think that they are changing the name to TNA just because of CM Punk. I was like, that is the craziest thing I would ever heard of any owner doing for one person. Completely changing the name of your company for one person. Second craziest thing was Tony Khan creating 2 shows for CM Punk. But of course, everyone thinks that means that CM Punk is coming to TNA because they changed the name from Impact to TNA as like a deal as to bring him in because it's going to be TNA once again. If that is the truth, that would be the craziest thing, that a company switched their whole name, their whole brand, just for CM Punk. So that would be crazy. But I am excited for TNA. I'm excited for wrestling overall. First of all, we got TNA coming back. We got NWA, who got a TV deal. I believe it was the CW network they will be featured on. So wrestling is winning right now. I'm very happy. I more likely may go back to watching NWA again. I watched a lot of it during the pandemic. Actually watched a lot of NWA and the and Impact during the pandemic, when a lot of their stuff was on YouTube and streaming stuff. So yeah, we'll see. AEW also announced that they are presenting a new pay-per-view, so it looks like the rumors are true. They are going to be having 12 pay-per-views a year. Their pay-per-view is coming on Saturday, December 31st, called World's End, taking place in Long Island. I can't wait for that. That definitely gives me definitely some Pirates of the Caribbean vibes. I hope they do something along those lines. They probably won't, but it'll be very cool if they do something along those lines. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be having some monthly pay-per-views. I'm very nervous about that because we've seen the type of booking that's been going on with AEW whenever pay-per-views are slightly close. Like what we had with, of course, All In and All Out. I'm gonna be optimistic though that things are gonna work out, but I am like, if you're gonna have monthly pay-per-views, especially if you're gonna start throwing Ring of Honor pay-per-views in there and stuff, we gotta tighten it up. You gotta let people know like what is coming. Like, announce the match and then build towards the match. The biggest thing that always make an example of that is Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, when they had that killer promo the week of the pay-per-view. I was like, we should have got this promo like 2 to 3 weeks out, because there's a big difference between WWE and their monthly pay-per-views and AEW and these monthly pay-per-views. You're asking people now pay $50 a month for these pay-per-views. Like, I'm expecting a $50 pay-per-view. I don't really have high expectations for WWE because I'm paying $5 on a network for a subscription, a streaming service that already exists. And so I'm not too upset if I get a $5 pay-per-view. A lot of times these premium live events are a lot better than expected. But if I'm paying for a $50 steak, I'm expecting a good ass steak. Okay. I don't want my steak to taste like it came from fucking McDonald's. So Tony Khan is just going to have to be so fucking consistent with building up these stories and dream matches and stuff like that, building up these feuds for these monthly pay-per-views. I hope he has like a planner or something like that. I suggest him going to Michael's and getting, a happy planner, one of them planners that you can rip pages out and add pages in. Getting an assistant. Well, we heard about that from Bryan Danielson. You need a personal assistant to kind of write your shit down, keep it organized, use post-it notes or something like that. Use a pin board and some red string to kind of keep your shit organized. Because I expect this to be organized as hell. Speaking of pay-per-views and premium live events, WWE announced that the first ever major premium live event in Germany is going to happen Saturday, August 31st of 2024, called Bash in Berlin. So August of 2024 is going to be pretty sweet. So we're going to have All In one weekend. Next weekend, Bash at Berlin. And then the following weekend, we're going to have All Out. So those 3 weeks are going to be killer. Speaking of killer, let's get into some Halloween Havoc. So Halloween Havoc was amazing this week. Actually, before I get into Halloween Havoc, because that's the big topic, I'll talk about Dynamite now. So I didn't really watch too much of Collision from last week. But 3 weekends worth of bangers. Yes. There's going to be a lot of bangers those 3 weeks, yo. Especially if they throw in an NXT as well. I think they did that. Didn't they do that this year? NXT on the weekend of Labor Day. I mean, they could throw NXT on Labor Day weekend and they'll just be like a whole lot of fucking wrestling. But yeah, I can't wait for next year. Like, boom, boom, boom. And then you got, then you're going to have SummerSlam as well around that time. So I guess earlier that month is going to be SummerSlam, then a few weeks of a break, and then you're going to have all in, Bash in Berlin, All Out, possibly NXT, an NXT special around that time too. So yeah, it's just going to be so much excitement. And then we're getting another we're also getting another head-to-head with WWE and AEW. I think it's going to happen a few weeks on a Friday, I think it is. I think it's happening twice next month. I think it's happening on a Friday. Collision is going to be on a Friday, I believe, and then Rampage is following afterwards. And then if I saw correctly, I think it's actually in December. Collision is coming to a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw on the events page it said Collision / Dynamite. I think they'll be in Canada or something like that. But it was like Tuesday Collision, Wednesday Dynamite. I was like, oh, we about to have fucking Undertaker show up again. This time they probably might have fucking Hulk Hogan show up for their asses on NXT this time. Like, it's gonna be another crazy ass NXT coming up, and it's gonna be another crazy ass SmackDown too if Collision's coming on that Friday. We're gonna have Roman Reigns show up on SmackDown. We're gonna have Roman Reigns show up on NXT and everything. It's gonna be fucking crazy. I'm not mad at it though. Like, book y'all asses away. I'll be watching both shows at the same damn time. But Philly Dynamite was a pretty good show. We had MJF who went against Juice Robinson for the Diamond Ring. MJF won. Afterwards, we had MJF get attacked by the Bang Bang Club, and then we had the Kingdom with Roderick Neckstrong come out to help out. We had the Acclaim who also came to help out, and it was pretty much a hey, you're gonna let us join and help you out. And MJF said no to it all. And then Kenny comes out and says, hey, I know that you're like busy, but you're coming after my streak, and I feel like I should have a shot to defend it. So he was like, let's face each other on Saturday. MJF accepted. And then Kenny Omega was like, 3 days, bitch. I was like, ooh. I do like the fact that they have people coming at MJF from all sides, which is what you should expect for someone who is a champion. People shouldn't be patient enough to like stand in the line. If I feel like I deserve a title shot, I'm not waiting. I'm letting the champion know I'm fucking coming for you. I'm not going to be patient like, well, Jay White is wrestling MJF right now, so I'm going to wait until Jay White loses, and then I'm going to come out the next night and then shoot my shot. No. We got Kenny coming after MJF. We got fucking Samoa Joe, Mr. Suave coming after MJF. You got, Juice Robinson coming after MJF. You got Jay White coming after MJF. You got Max Caster coming for MJF. I mean, not in that way though, but he's coming for him. He wants him to put a ring on it, and he wants him to scissor him as well. We also got Roderick Strong and the Kingdom trying to be nice to MJF because they want to be nice to Adam Cole. First of all, MJF pushing Roderick Strong away during that promo cracked me the fuck up. It gave me, like, every time I see Roderick in the chair, it definitely kind of gives me Zack Ryder vibes. But yeah, we had MJF, of course, calling Adam Cole, and then of course we hear the familiar tone. Adam! And then he even said Maxwell. I forgot what he called him. I think he just said Max. And MJF was like, I'm right here. I can hear you. You don't have to scream. So I like the fact that we have a lot of people coming after the champion at the same damn time. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, for everyone wants to come after the Super Bowl trophy. Everyone wants to take out fucking Kansas City Chiefs. No one's going to say, well, I'm going to wait to see who ends up in the Super Bowl. And then the day after the Super Bowl, we're going to shoot our shot. No, there are fucking 31 teams that are fighting to take down to get the trophy. So it should be multiple people going after the champion at the same time. You know, as long as you keep it organized, I'm completely fine with it. Of course, we had Hook teaming up with Rob Van Dam. I completely forgot they gave Rob Van Dam his original theme back. I'm about to get that shit on Spotify. That is such a fucking great driving / workout song. I was like, damn, I missed that theme. I completely forgot about that theme until he showed up in AEW. But we had Hook smile while he was celebrating the win with RVD, and it, like, duh, Jaydee. It's a special moment for fucking Hook because his dad used to, team up and wrestle against RVD. Taz explained it. He was like, yeah, because I think it was Shivani was like, was that a smile from Hook? And Taz was like, yeah, he's a little excited. That's his idol. He calls him Uncle Rob and stuff like that. He was, me and him teamed up and faced each other a number of times. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So that was special for them to have teamed up and everything like that. And then we also had the prize from Tony Khan, who ended up being Ric Flair. And I fucking agree with Christian Cage that Tony Khan's a fucking billionaire. You are an owner of pretty much every team in sports, and your gift was another human being. Ric Flair at that. Like, I get Ric Flair, woo, a lot of history between him and Sting, but sir, Ric Flair, like, this guy is deciding to retire after 50 years and shit, and you say I'm gonna give you a gift. It's going to be the best gift ever, and it was Ric Flair. I slightly agree with Christian Cage. Like, dog, you're a billionaire, and your gift to Sting was a whole human being. Like, you had fucking tag team battle royales for $100,000 or something like that. You have a battle royale for a fucking diamond ring and everything, and your gift to Sting is a whole human being. But we had Ric Flair who showed up, who is slightly elite. Slightly, he's cameoing. He's doing a cameo for Sting. Sat there and told him, hey, you're going to be retiring. I'm going to be right there for you. And I'm like, is he going to be a manager or something like that? Like, what is going on? That's right, Ivan. You're bullshit, Tony Khan. Really? Like, a whole human being was a gift. Like, you sat there and hyped up the gift to Sting. It's going to be the best gift. It's going to be something that he, didn't expect, and it was Ric Flair.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Exactly. It was whole Ric Flair. I was like, at first I was like, oh wow, Ric Flair. And I'm like, wait, that was the gift, was Ric Flair? I mean, I was like, hey, title shot or something. Like the bro, I don't think Sting has held a title in AEW yet. Has he? Like you could at least like, title shot for you, tag team title shot for you. Something. You gave him Ric Flair. Like that makes no sense, bro. We said it last Friday. We expected Tony Khan to give Sting a title shot at Revolution, but nope, didn't get it. Like that's what I kind of thought it would be. I'm like, I bet you it's a title shot or something. And I was like, maybe it's, I was thinking like maybe it's a plaque or like something, a pay-per-view named after Sting or something. I mean, we had shows named after people, for people. I was like, maybe a pay-per-view in his honor or something. Like that would have been cool. A pay-per-view in his honor. He's retiring at AEW Revolution. You could have said we're gonna rename it to something else like that. Maybe a title in his name or something, along with a title shot or something. But no, get him fucking Ric Flair, who it seemed like he scared me a little bit because he started, how Ric Flair goes once he starts going. He tried to hit the fucking ropes, and I thought, oh my gosh, when he hit the ropes, I thought he was about to do the fucking elbow to the ground. Like my heart was like, oh my gosh, we can't have this happen on live TV. And then he's just like so excited, and Sting's like, chop me. Let's go, chop me. And he chopped Sting, and he was like, woo. I was like, this is a lot. And then I was kind of happy that Christian Cage came out to pretty much fucking shut everything the fuck down. Sat there and said, pretty much we were all thinking that Tony Khan's a billionaire, and his gift to Sting for all that he has done was fucking Ric Flair. Sat there and told him that, called Ric Flair weekend at Weekend at Bernie's. Sat there and called him, black, a suit, a gold chain, and a black liver. Sat there and said, calm down. I know Ric Flair isn't dead. He was like, I also know there is not a God, because if there was, Ric Flair would have been dead 20 years ago. And I was like, like, whoa, sir. Like, the heel is healing, yo. Like, out of everything of Christian Cage. And I didn't see Christian in TNA, so I don't know if he's on that level. But between WWE Christian Cage and AEW Christian Cage, this Christian Cage is like so it. Definitely my favorite heel, maybe of all time. It's really getting there. Definitely one of my favorite heels. Like every single time I see him on TV, he is killing it. It just makes me want to say, just like give him all the fucking titles, yo. He is definitely killing it as far as the heel. Father of the year, of course. He sat there and said that, challenged Sting and Darby Allin to a match. Also told off the Philly fans as well. And, while Philly did, tell him fuck you and stuff like that, I was fucking cracking up because I was like, this is amazing. Like he sat there and said, and I know Philadelphia, this is something that the Phillies won't have, which is something that, you guys don't know about, which is a championship. And I was like, damn, yo. I was like, damn.
This is such good shit.
He was killing it, though. He was definitely killing it. And then we had the Elite going against, I forgot who the Elite went against. I legit forgot who the Elite went against. I just remember after the match, I remember after the match, fucking Swerve shows up at Hangman Page's house, and Prince Nana was there. I'm trying to see who they went against. Prince Nana was there, and they went to his house, and a lot of people was like, oh, same shit of people showing up at people's houses, stuff like that. But I really loved the fact that this time, oh, I'm sorry, wow, I forgot. The Hardys versus Brother Zay. What I loved, though, was Hangman Page sat there and fucking cut a promo on a fucking toddler. He cut a promo at the crib, yo. A literal crib, and then threw his fucking shirt at the baby. I was like, yo, that is some stone cold shit right there. One thing great about this Dynamite was Swerve at Hangman's home, even though we see that all the time when it comes to storylines. But this one, by far, one of the best one for Swerve finally. I am loving what is happening with Swerve. Like, I am loving what's happening with Swerve. Like, I cannot wait for him to win the title. Like, he definitely needs to win the title. This is the Swerve that I was so hype about when he came to AEW. And I was a fan of his in NXT. I was like, this dude got it. When they put him with Hit Row, I was like, whatever. It is what it is. Whatever. Then he got brought up to the main roster briefly, and then he was let go. And I was upset about that. They brought back Hit Row, and I said on this podcast, Hit Row is not the same without Swerve. Swerve is what made Hit Row Hit Row. And we see that it's kind of fucking true. So I'm happy that we are getting something solid with, we're getting something good with Swerve. I liked when it was Swerve versus Keith Lee, when Swerve was teaming up with Keith Lee and stuff like that. But this Swerve right now, what Swerve is doing, top notch. Yeah, but yeah, him showing up at the house and cutting a promo on the kid, cutting a promo on a whole baby. That's some villain stuff right there. And I do like the little touch of Hangman Adam Page. As soon as he found out that he was at the home, he immediately left to leave. He didn't sit there and just was like watching the movie saying, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, nah, he's at the house. The kid is there. I'm like, where's the mom? You hear people walking around the house. I mean, Swerve wasn't whispering when he cut the promo. He was talking in a normal voice. So I'm sure what we may find out what happens next, because Prince Nana was very concerned when he was like, we need to go. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. Yeah, Hardy's in Isaiah. So yeah. So I love that. I love that segment with Swerve. And I can't wait to see what happens next with Swerve in this storyline. I think it's very intriguing that Swerve is like, you are careless of the place and the opportunities you had, and you're in my way, and you're going to get the fuck out of my way. So I can't wait for that. And then of course we had Okada and Orange Cassidy going against Bryan Danielson and Claudio. Very weird. It was a very weird finish to it all, because I don't think Bryan Danielson was actually injured. I didn't watch Dynamite live. I didn't watch the ending live. So I saw people was like, oh, he's injured because the doctor showed up and everything. I don't think he was injured. I think he was just selling the fact that he got the orange punch, and then he got the Rainmaker right afterwards. So I think he was just selling the fact that he got fucking punched. And on top of that, Okada was sitting there hitting him in the face with elbows and stuff. So I think he was really selling that part. That's what I think was happening. I don't think he was legit injured. It was just the way that he kind of like rolled over and everything. I think that's what it was. Because then, you had BCC come out, and then the best friends come out, and Okada started taunting Bryan Danielson. So I feel like we're going to get a story out of that. And I think we're going to get Okada versus Bryan Danielson again. Or maybe Orange Cassidy versus Bryan Danielson. We're getting a match out of this somehow. Because I know Bryan Danielson is going to bring up the fact that Okada mocked him while he was quote unquote injured. So I didn't read the dirt sheet, so I don't know if it's legit or not, but I'm like, he's obviously selling the fact that he got the punch to the face. Like, he's not actually injured, because he kind of was like, because he just legit rolled away and then he went like this. So I think it was all to sell the story. It was a weird way for the show to go off, because everyone just kind of like stood there. And I'm like, can y'all like talk shit or something to each other? Look like y'all about to fight or something? You know, hold somebody back from about to fight or something. But it was just like weird. Everyone was standing around. Ivan said, yes, he was selling. This is possible setup for him to go to New Japan Wrestle Kingdom. Yo, yes. That is like 2 months away. That would be great. Okada versus Bryan Danielson 2. This time in New Japan. I'm down with that. I am so down with that. Listen, let Bryan Danielson face every fucking body. We have until March or May for Bryan Danielson? Like, there's a list of people I want him to go against. I want him to go against Omega again. He needs to go against Ospreay. Like, he needs to, we need him to work the fucking roster. He can go to AAA. Like, we need you to tour, sir. If this is the farewell tour, we need you to actually do a world tour. Like, this bitch better be better than fucking Beyonce's tour. But I need him to go against Ospreay and Omega before he officially retires. I know there's some other names on the list too that I'm definitely forgetting, but for me, Ospreay and Omega, definitely. I wouldn't mind him and Swerve again, but I feel like we're setting up Swerve for a title shot, so let's keep that going. But yeah, I need Bryan Danielson to wrestle every damn body. He's heading towards his last year of wrestling, quote, that his dream is to compete at New Japan, so Wrestle Kingdom for sure. Hopefully Okada or Zack Sabre Jr., who knows, we'll find out, but we want Ospreay and Danielson. Yes. I want fucking Ospreay and Danielson. And I don't want just a one-off like match. No, I want this bitch to be fucking storyline the fuck out. I want promo versus promo between these two. I want fucking vignettes and everything. I want the whole damn show between these two. I'm like, a part of me is like, I kind of want Ospreay versus Danielson in AEW, but I will not be mad if it's at Wrestle Kingdom. I won't be mad at all if it's at Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, he needs to wrestle everyone. So yeah, I hope he does, end up. I'm sure he's going to go to Wrestle Kingdom for sure. And I'm like, I hope he definitely goes against Ospreay over there. And then if he decides to stay around in like June in AEW, we could run it back at Forbidden Door for Bryan Danielson. I feel like he'll still be around AEW. He probably just won't be wrestling as much, which that's fine. It's whatever. Then quickly to kind of go over WWE, Cena mentioned that his last win was in 2018, which I was like, I didn't know that was true or not. Like, wow. I know he's been losing a lot, but I could have sworn he won at least a match, a singles match or something. But no, he has been losing in singles matches since 2018. I was like, well, it's no longer LOL Cena wins. Sorry for him. But he's just going to keep on showing up. I mean, the writer strike is over, so we'll probably see less of him now. Then we also have Nick Aldis, who is now the GM of Smackdown, which I'm okay with. I've seen him in NWA, Mr. 10 Pounds of Gold. I'm like, that man could do a hell of a lot. But if we're going to have him show up as GM for right now, whatever. I'm fine with that for now. But yeah, Nick Aldis definitely letting it be known, like, don't fuck with me or my show. Sat there and told security, hey, get Jay the fuck out of here. I'm going to find you. And you need to go back to your show. Then Adam Pearce was like, he's my responsibility. I'll take him out. And Nick Aldis was like, okay. He was like, escort them both out. And Adam Pearce sat there and took off the glasses like, really? And Nick Aldis was like, motherfucker, really? I am Mr. 10 pounds of gold. Don't fuck with me. And I said, I'm Team Smackdown. But yeah, I'm excited for Nick Aldis to be on TV. Maybe just, hopefully this GM thing is just an introduction to him in front of the fans. And then we will eventually see him wrestle, because I feel like he definitely has a lot more to give. But, I digress. And then we get back to Dom. Of course, we had Logan Paul, who showed up. He is going to challenge Rey Mysterio and eventually win the title. We all know that's happening. Dom comes out, and I understand that the people are booing. We've seen the video clips of the booing and stuff like that. But a lot of people was like, this week, the audio was definitely added in. I am team turning down the mic. Or turning up the audience mic. Something there is fuckery with the audio. I know Triple H did that whole segment of, wow, they're really booing you. Here, take my mic and stuff like that. I think the audience mic may be turned up a bit when it comes to Dominic. I believe he is getting booed. And I believe he's getting booed in every city he appears in, because, a lot of times with wrestling crowds, they copy, they'll copy what all the other cities are doing. So I believe he's getting booed, but it's like, dog. There have been some shows where the crowd is completely dead, and then suddenly they come to life whenever Dominic comes on the screen. There is now they do pop for LA Knight and everything like that, but it's like the booing for Dominic is louder than the pop for the top star of the show. Make it make sense. So I think they're just turning up. The audience's mic. If they turn down his mic, it's possible, but I think they definitely are turning up the mic for the crowd. That's what I feel. So getting into Halloween Havoc, overall, it was a pretty good show. The NXT does pretty good with Halloween Havoc. Now, this is coming from a fan who didn't really watch a lot of Halloween Havoc in WCW. So I don't know how Halloween Havoc originally is. So I don't know if, Halloween Havoc has gotten WWE-fied, as I should call it. So I don't know if the spirit of Halloween Havoc is still there that we had in WCW, but overall it was a decent show that we saw here. Shotzi, I knew Shotzi was a singer because I know her, Scarlett, and the woman from AEW. I forgot her name at AEW, but I know that they all sing together. I've seen a video of theirs. I didn't know Shotzi. I think her band is called New Year's Day, I think it was called. But she performed a song called Vampire. It was pretty catchy. She's a pretty good singer. And then Shotzi, of course, and Scarlett with the costumes, respectfully. Shotzi as Pinhead, and Edward Scissorhands. Then we had Scarlett, who at one point she was just scarling it up. She was, I forgot who she was at first. It was definitely one of the 1800 era costume, and then she was just wearing a black outfit when Shotzi was Edward Scissorhands, and then they were the twins from The Shining. That part was kind of funny as well. But we had, starting out, the Devil's Playground, which was Roxy Perez, who dressed up as Freddy, going against Kiana James, who had a fucking knot on her head. I don't know where she hit her head at. I think it happened during a commercial, but that bitch blew the fuck up. I was like, yo, this was a pretty good match between those two. It was just very odd because it was like Falls Count Anywhere, but the match took place right where the playground set was. I mean, it worked. They made the most that they did of that small area, but it just felt weird that it just took place just in that small area. I mean, they went over a little bit to one side, but it was just in that small area. So I thought it was a little weird. But overall, it was a pretty good match. We had Roxy, who won here. And then we had the debut of Lexis King, Mr. Brian Pillman Jr. himself. Now, they are looking to get away from the fact that he is the son of Brian Pillman Jr., giving him his own identity, which I definitely appreciate. That was my biggest thing with him in AEW, that, I understand that, he loves his dad a lot and he wants to be like his dad, but I felt as though he needed to separate himself from his dad and kind of get his own identity, which is what WWE is doing here with him being Lexis King. And he's pretty much like, my father is dead. He is going to name himself after the man who actually raised them. I was like, okay, if that's where we're going to go, I'll take it. I'll go along on this roller coaster with it. The entrance of his killed me. Him chilling in the throne and the throne slides out from the side. That was cool, different. I felt a difference from him as Lexis King. I have to see more before I can really get into more detail with it. But I have to see if there's a difference between him and in AEW and him in WWE. You can change the name and, gimmick, storyline, stuff like that. But the essence, I want to see if there's a difference there, because he was cool in AEW. It's just he wasn't connecting with the crowd. And I feel as though he will definitely connect more with the crowd in WWE, because with AEW, things it's a little bit more realistic. AEW fans, the AEW atmosphere deals more with reality. That's why, a lot of times gimmick things don't work too well unless it's more comedy type of thing, with Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy as well. But or even Outrunners too. But with Brian Pillman Jr., he was very serious about it and stuff. And he was just very average when it came to in the ring, and he wasn't really good as far as promos. I mean, he was very passionate, especially when he went against MJF and I think Christian at one point. He was very passionate in the promo, stuff like that. But it's just he wasn't connecting with the crowd. So I felt as though he was meant more for WWE, where it's easier to connect with the crowd as long as you're, pretty good as a face or pretty good as a heel. As long as you are very good at playing your gimmick or character. But a lot of times with WWE, with some of the characters, they're pretty much middle of the road, like Akira Tozawa. Funny guy and stuff like that, but I do not expect him to main event a show in a serious capacity. So when it comes to Lexis King, I want to see more before I really be will I be able to see him go after a title? Not exactly like Roman Reigns or anything like that, but can I see him going after the heavyweight title or something like that? As of right now, no. So I want to give it a chance because, he has potential, definitely. But I want to see more from him. So it was a pretty good debut. But I just want to see more of where are we going with this? What is the, complete story? I get that, the gripe with him being a second generation wrestler. My thinking was with him showing all the second generation wrestlers was that he was going to go after people who uses their parents for clout, something like that, because he is kind of like not able to do that since, you know, his dad passed when he was very young and he wants to separate himself from there. Kind of like Randy Orton's Legend Killer, except for like second, like, you know, wrestlers, kids, Legend Killer type of situation. So I don't know if that's where we're going with that, or if that's just going to be like his thing, like he's separating himself from his dad type of situation. So that's why I'm waiting to see more of him. Now we had the matches for the women's breakout tournament. Very good matches. We had Kalani Jordan going against Ariana Grace. Kalani Jordan was originally teamed up with Dana Brooke. Definitely, like, she has potential. It's this thing that WWE loves to do, especially in NXT, where they have the wrestlers come out and they just do a lot of nodding. It's the I don't have a lot of, it's the Disney factor. So it's the Disney TV show factor that they just nod their heads and they just like, yeah, I got this type of situation. A lot of the newer wrestlers do it a lot. It just like not really pisses me off, but it's just a pet peeve when it comes to WWE that they love to throw that on people. Like, no, just go out there and nod your head. When you go out there during your entrance, just look around, and then you go on the rope. You go on the rope and you look, lean out on the rope and you look at the crowd and go, I got this. Or, just do that. So Kalani was doing that and I was like, she's adorable. She's a little adorable thing. And I'm like, it's just the nodding. It's just like it's very fucking Disney show. I expect her to fucking come out and start singing a musical or something like that. Like, it's like this is fucking Descendants or something like that. I don't know, but it's just kind of annoying. But I am happy for Kalani though that she did win. We also had what was the other one? The other one was oh my gosh, Lola Grace going against, I forgot the other girl. But Lola Grace won. She had Carmen Electra with her as well. So the finals is going to be Kalani Jordan going against Lola Vice. Okay, it was Lola Vice versus Carmen Pedrovic. And Carmen was a Electra Lopez. That I was getting the names mixed up. So Carmen was a 3rd degree black belt or something like that. Lola Vice, who definitely I can see the potential with her. So for the finals, we have Kalani Jordan going against Lola Vice next week. So then we had for the tag team championship, Chase University going against the Family. Chase University getting the win here. I'm a big fan of Andre Chase, especially the vignettes where he's trying to teach and then he just starts cursing at people. I feel that sometimes. Not that I'm a teacher or something like that, but you try to be nice to people and they just like don't get it, or they say something smart and you just want to say things to them. I just kind of slightly lived through him from time to time. I worked in retail a very long time. I worked with the public for a very long time. We had to sit there and keep a face and smile and be polite and stuff like that. Sometimes you just want to say, you know what? Fuck you. Do you know what the fuck you're doing or something like that? Like, why are you saying this stupid shit? Andre Chase does that. I appreciate it. So I was very happy for him. JC Jane tried to get Andre to cheat, tried to toss him his crowbar, but the Tony D'Angelo had mistakenly bumped into JC Jane, and in the end, Chase University won. So I am slightly interested to see where it goes from here. I don't watch NXT on a weekly basis, so I'm not 100% sure. Like, I know the story is Thea Hale is more grown up now. She's going through her rebel phase of college, and so she is hanging out with JC Jane, who is bringing this rebelness out of her. And I think Duke Hudson and Andre Chase are like, we're going to keep a closer eye on you right now. That's why I think it is right now. So yeah. So I can't wait to see what happens next with Chase University. And then we had Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, the Lights Out match. And I have to say, this match definitely gave me the Mountain Dew Pitch Black vibes. Like, all we needed was some, some strobe lights, some glow sticks and stuff like that. Luckily, the crowd in NXT is pretty small, because I was like, if there were any nosebleed seats in this bad boy, I would have felt so bad for them, because you wouldn't be able to really see the match. You were able to see the match, but I felt like I needed like some 3D glasses or some night vision glasses at certain points. But it was a pretty good match. We had the they said a Falcon Arrow from the table from the announcer's table onto a table by Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport in the end defeated Gigi Dolan. So, we're done with that. And then for the main event, for the NXT Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. I think that was how you pronounce her last name. But before we had all that, we had motherfucking Jade Cargill come out. And she had a green fur coat on, which the two security guards took off. And she did her fucking pose and stuff like that. And myself and everyone else was just like, she looked fucking good. She looked good. Respectfully. Okay? She looked good. Jade Cargill looked motherfucking good. I have to play it again. Okay. I can't wait to see her debut, but the way that they have presenting her in WWE, chef's kiss. Like, you see her with the outfits, coming out the car and everything, just looking good. Of course, a lot of the WWE girlfriends and the wives are like, now Mrs. Steal Your Wife, Steal Your Girlfriend. Now it's WWE's fans' turns for all your girls and all your wives to look at Jade Cargill and go, God damn! All right. I cannot wait to see what is going to happen with her. Like I said, I know they're going to shoot her out to the moon. I hope they don't do it too quickly. Like, she don't need title shots right away or anything like that. Just let things happen, yo. Just put her on the fucking TV. That's all we really need right now. Just put her on the TV, like I said, have her start off with a feud against someone. Don't throw her. Well, I mean, you can throw her to Becky Lynch now that Becky no longer has the title, but don't throw her into title matches or anything like that. Just let us enjoy her. Listen, as long as we get to see her on TV, that's all that matters. Like, the day that Jade Cargill debut and we get to see her on the TV longer than 30 fucking seconds, I'm sure everyone's going to be watching it like I'm sure that's how we're all going to be. I can't wait for her. I love the way they're presenting her. She's making her money. She got the big ass deal, rightfully so. And don't hate, appreciate, and celebrate. Okay. I loved her in AEW. I'm gonna love her in WWE. The day when she debuts and then they come over to Philly, I'm definitely gonna have a big ass sign Don't know if she's going to bring the baddie section to WWE. Probably not, because WWE does things their fucking way. But when y'all come to Philly, holler at your fucking girl, okay? Okay, holler at me, please. But no, Jade Cargill looked fucking good up there on the throne. Rightfully so that they put her on a fucking throne. And this was a good match between Becky Lynch and Lyra as well. The only biggest gripe I had was the finish. The fucking roll up. I cannot stand with that they do the roll up to finish from time to time. My thing is the fact that Becky Lynch has had the title for so long. She defeated a lot of people on the main roster in NXT. I felt as though that we could have had they didn't really actually name what Lyra's finish was. It was a roundhouse kick that they mentioned that she won a couple of times with. I would have loved to see her pull that kick off like a second or a third time. Pretty much show that Becky Lynch it took a lot for Becky Lynch to be put down. It would have definitely gave more credibility to Lyra. It would have gave more credibility to Becky Lynch title reign instead of the fucking roll up after you kick out of the manhandle slam. Kicks out, tries to go for the kick, then Becky tries to go for the manhandle slam. She ducks out of that and then does the roll ups, and she gets the pin from that. I didn't really like that part. I just wish that she did a second, like, kind of do that when Roman Reigns was the fucking big dog. Do something like that where you had Lyra do one kick and then she, Becky goes down, Lyra picks her up, goes for a second kick. Becky goes down, she picks her up, goes for a third kick. That would have got the crowd a little bit more hyper for the finish because you see what's coming. It would have built up the anticipation that a title change could be coming. Will Becky kick out? Will she not kick out? Becky done got 3 fucking kicks. Will she kick out or not? I felt as though that would have been a better finish than what we got. I didn't like the fact that there was a simple roll-up that got the job done, because I felt as though kind of cheapened the title reign that Becky had, that she was, defending it against people on the main roster and on the main roster in NXT. And the fact, especially for people who only watched NXT because Becky was champ, who didn't really know Lyra, this was a good match to present her, but that finish really didn't present her strong enough to really get the title. So I wish that was the way that the end of that title, the end of that title match had went. So just kind of sucks, but I'll hold my breath because maybe this is maybe the fact that Becky Lynch got rolled up is going to lead to something else. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't. Becky probably run up to the main roster once more and then we'll pretend like this never happened type of situation. But we are getting Halloween Havoc coming up next week. This time, actually on Halloween. I believe Halloween is on Tuesday. Yes. So we're actually on Halloween. We're getting night 2 of Halloween Havoc. So we're going to get the final match in the women's breakout tournament. Kalani Jordan going against Lola Vice. We're going to have a singles match between Mr. Stone and Braun Breaker. I'm going to assume Von Wagner is going to show up at this point. He'll probably get the crowd reaction. Von Wagner just doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. I see him and I think of fucking Giant Gonzalez. And I forgot who the second person reminds me of, but he really gives me like Giant Gonzalez vibes in the face and I can't get past it. And he's just been, I don't know, it's just been very bland for me, especially the way that they, built him up with stories and stuff like that. I think I think the way he was presented in colorful NXT 2.0, 3.0, whatever, kind of killed any momentum he had for me. But maybe with the storyline that they have him going with him and Mr. Stone, maybe it'll change people's minds around. If it does, power to him, definitely. Then we have the spin the wheel, make the deal, tables, ladders, and scares with the Creed brothers going against Angel Garza and Herberto Carrillo. I think this might be match of the night. The Creed brothers are very good, and Angel Garza and Herberto, I cannot wait for that match. Then we have for the NXT North American Championship, Dominic Mysterio going against Nathan Frazier. Of course, Rhea Ripley is going to be ringside, who is also motherfucking respectfully motherfucking Rhea Ripley.
Respect!
Okay. And then after that, for the Women's Tag Team Championship, we have Chelsea Green and Piper Niven going against Chase University's Thea Hale and JC Jane. That'll be cool if they won the tag team titles. That could definitely run into a storyline with the two, tag team title champions. We'll see how that goes. And then for this singles match, Tiffany Stratton going against Fallon Henley, who dressed up as Tiffany Stratton this week as well. I thought that was pretty funny as well. And then finally for the NXT Championship, Ilya Dragunov going against Carmelo Hayes. The running storyline this week was that Carmelo Hayes was behind the attack on Trick Williams. When Shotzi and Scarlett had dressed up as the twins from The Shining, they said it's set in the car, so he was the one behind the attack. Fucking Braun Breaker comes up to him like, yo, dog, that was great what you did. I admire you for what you had to do for your fucking title shot. So yeah, a lot of people think it's Carmelo Hayes that's responsible for the attack on Trick Williams. We'll definitely find out next week. I'm going to assume Trick Williams is either going to show up next week or maybe the following week and to reveal who it was that attacked him, of course. What's going on, Broadcast? What's up, Jaydee? What is going on? Good morning to you, first of all. Be sure to check out the guys from Down Under, the Broadcast. Be sure to check them out as well. But yeah, we have for the NXT Championship, running it back of Ilya Dragunov going against Carmelo Hayes. And then I believe we have Roman Reigns coming back. We are now working towards the Saudi show, which is next week, right? Yeah, next week is the Saudi show. So definitely going to be doing a prediction show with the Bloodline next week as well. I forgot what they kind of mentioned for what's happening with Dynamite. They kind of went over time, so they really didn't announce too much. But I do know this weekend we're going to have Kenny Omega going against MJF for the title. And I forgot what else they announced for this week. But overall, Halloween Havoc was a pretty good show. Can't wait to see what Night 2 brings for Halloween Havoc. And then for WWE, we are working towards the Saudi show. And we are also working towards Full Gear for AEW as well. And yeah, but that is it for the Wrestlebread Podcast. Thank you to everyone for watching and listening. First of all, shout out to the chat for definitely coming in and chatting it up with me and everything like that. But yeah, shout out to everyone for listening, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this back as well. You can catch me on Twitter at JDC137. You can catch the podcast at Wrestlebread as well. Click the links in the bio for all the social medias. Be sure to catch the Fanatics Network, thefanent.com, and check out, like I said, so many podcasts out there. We are passionate about what we do and what we talk about. You can go to the website, thefanent.com, check out all the podcasts and the writers that are out there. Find which one speaks to your vibe. You go follow the podcast and the podcaster as well. If you enjoyed yours truly, I am live, LIVE live, yeah, every Thursday at 9 p.m. EST exclusively on the Fanatics Network. Be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. We did a bit of a slight rebranding as well. Check out all the shows that are out there for the Fanatics Network. Shows like Cage My IQ, Dome Field Advantage, AEW Watch Along. We have a Smackdown Watch Along, Roto Slappers, Outrage Control, the Universal Wrestling Podcast, and the Director's Cut. Shout out to all the podcasts that we have as well, affiliated with us as well. Shows like Circle Debate. We got the broadcast as well. Be sure to check them out live as well. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Coming up next week, I believe we have the Saudi show coming up next weekend. So it will be a prediction show with the Fanatics Network. So be sure to check that out next week as well. And I'll do a brief overview of Halloween Havoc and then whatever craziness is coming up from AEW as we work towards Full Gear. I am pretty happy. We are 3 weeks away from Full Gear, and we're starting to get a number of matches being worked on and announced and everything. So kudos, okay, for that as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below of how you felt about Halloween Havoc. How do you feel about AEW Dynamite? What are your thoughts of, as far as with TNA as well? Are you excited for TNA? Do you believe that they are rebranding TNA because they have a certain person from Chicago coming along as well? But yeah, thank you still. I really appreciate you watching and everything. You could be doing anything. You could be watching this football game that's going on. You could be watching anything, but I do appreciate you coming in here and checking me out. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, guys, peace.